Hello and welcome to Coffee with Conapalooza, a show dedicated to you all things Conapalooza. For this episode, we're talking cosplay. We asked Kiss A Frog Cosplay, Expedition Cosplay, formerly known as Cosplay INC, and Jocoserious Cosplay a couple questions that we thought would be intriguing for all of you. They were all asked the same question in the same manner, and these were their responses. How long have you been cosplaying?
I've been cosplaying for around, I started in 2012. Officially, I started in 2012. And I started, started cosplaying in 2014.
Close to 10 years now, I guess. Long time.
In general, I think I've been cosplaying for about 5 years.
What caused you to get into cosplay?
The first 2 years that I was going to conventions and I was getting into the quote-unquote cosplay scene, I was doing Japanese fashion. I was doing Lolita. And so Lolita was my first love before cosplay. And so I would do Lolita co-ords. I would do a lot of research. And I was kind of a beginner baby Lolita when I first started.
My parents wouldn't let me go to the prom, so instead I went to my first anime convention and built a TARDIS in like 3 days and took it there. So it was a good little a little stab back at them, like, hey, I'm still gonna have fun.
It was a little bit of just kind of seeing characters and going, oh, hey, that looks really cool. I want to look like that, and trying to figure out how to get myself to look like that. And there were a few cosplayers that kind of got me doing it even more, which Crash Candy is one of those people.
Now, what was the first cosplay you've ever done?
In 2014, at my local convention, there was a Disney princess group, and I decided to make Princess Tiana. I decided to make her dress from The Princess and the Frog. And so that was my first real jump into cosplay, was my Princess Tiana.
How long did that one take? I actually did the Princess Fiona cosplay.
Let's see. I had some help from my mom and help from my friend because at the time I had no idea what I was doing, and I was still learning to sew and learning to work with a sewing machine. And my mother actually taught me some basics when I was younger, and I hadn't used my sewing skills. And as you know, people say, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. And so it took me a total of 8 months to do my Princess Tiana and to get it to where it was presentable.
Actually, my first cosplay was Vash the Stampede from Trigun.
Wow, really? What inspired that one?
Oh man, I just I loved this was back when Trigun first came out. It was still airing, and it was before all the post-nuclear, post-apocalyptic genre got really big. And so I was really big to Trigun because it had bits of that aspect, that wasteland kind of barren desert survival gunslinger kind of feel to it. It just felt awesome.
My first cosplay was Jinx from League of Legends.
That's kind of cool. What inspired you to take that one?
Well, I watched one of my friends in League of Legends when I didn't have the right setup to play the game, so I kind of just watched them play. So whenever he started playing her, I kind of just saw her moving around and was like, man, I really like her.
Who or what is your favorite character to cosplay as?
Yeah, actually, Tiana is near and dear to my heart. I've actually lost 175 pounds. So I was 330 pounds when I made Princess Tiana. So I was plus size. I was about a size 24, 26. And so Tiana no longer fits. And she is sitting in a huge clear container with all of her pieces, my hoop skirt and everything. And I miss being able to wear her. She's going to get remade hopefully this fall so that I can continue to be my favorite princess. But she's not my favorite cosplay. My favorite cosplay is actually Sailor Mars, my Super Sailor Mars from Sailor Moon. And I really enjoy wearing her, and I feel very, very empowered when I'm in her because I really try to embody Rey when I wear her. And so I feel really beautiful and really powerful when I'm in my Sailor Mars. And since I've also bought Sailor Mars, she no longer fits. So I will probably have to order either Super Sailor Mars or Eternal Mars because I really want to do her Stars form, since Stars was one of my favorite seasons of Sailor Moon.
I really enjoyed Vash. I've got a couple of others. Like I really enjoy doing my NCR Ranger from the Fallout series, but he doesn't get to talk that much. He's not super animated. So I think the one that I probably enjoy the most is actually Inspector Gadget from my childhood, because all the gadgets whirl and buzz and actually move and make noise and things. And he's super duper animated, which is a lot of fun.
There actually hasn't been one that I have worn multiple times yet. Every time I go, I've been a different person, which, I mean, I guess there was Jinx. Jinx I did twice, so I guess it would be her.
Out of all the cosplay that you've done so far, who is the hardest? Either to put on, or to apply makeup on, or to walk around in, or anything along those lines?
Oh, it's Princess Serenity from Sailor Moon. It has a 5-foot train on it that when I first wore it, I wore it to a convention in Canada at HalCon, which is in Halifax. And I had to have it. This is before I figured out that I needed to like bustle the back of my dress like you do a wedding dress when there's a train on it. And I ended up having to carry like 10 pounds of dress in my arms. And I had a handler who would walk behind me to make sure nobody stepped on me. And so it's really hard to maneuver in that dress when it's not bustled. And it's very heavy. And it doesn't look heavy, but it is heavy. Because when you have all of that, when you've got the most of the weight of the dress is in the back. And when I have on the back bow, it's a lot. And sitting can be hard in it. And you have to make sure that everything is like pulled up and tucked in the right way so it doesn't drag the ground even when it's bustled. So it makes me look a little pretentious, but I have to hold up the front of my skirt and kind of walk princess style, like Princess Diana style when I'm walking. And my fiance sometimes is my handler, and so he has to like keep people away from me so that I don't get bumped or tripped on when I'm in this dress. And it can be a little cumbersome, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful gown.
No, I'd say that one's probably the hardest just because of all the gadgets. I can't have them all on me all at the same time, like the helicopter hats or the extended legs, which are the stilts that I walk on and things. So I kind of have to keep coming back to the booth and changing out my gizmos and gadgets. So the next round that I run around the convention center, everybody sees it as something different, and it kind of does that illusion of Gadget having all the different things coming out of his body. And then we even put in the fake teeth from time to time, the super perfect teeth from the live action Gadget, and we'll do bad Gadget with the chainsaw blade coming out of the helmet and the rocket and all that kind of stuff. So I get to be a nutty evil villain for a little bit too.
I think the hardest one so far, which, I mean, I'm not done with her yet, but Vi, also from League of Legends, I think is going to be the most difficult. But the hardest one I've worn so far was probably Widowmaker in her Talon skin.
Now, I ask this question a lot, but what is your Spinal Tap moment? Or more so, what's one of the more embarrassing moments you've had as a cosplay artist?
Actually, I was wearing my Sailor Mars for the first time. I was at OhioCon, and which is in Columbus, Ohio, and I had on some sheer brown tights. Well, they were kind of dark, but they were still sheer brown tights, and I had on bright pink underwear. And so the skirt on Mars, the Safuku on Mars, is kind of short. And I remember I did a photo shoot with Little Professor Photography. So we're out facing the street. We are on a glass connecting walkway between the hotel, the Hyatt, and the convention center. And I'm standing and I'm posing, and I realize that every single person who walks underneath and who drives underneath can see my bright pink underwear. So I remember asking him, I'm like, can we move out of here? Because people would look up and like would see the red and like this like sparkliness of my cosplay, and I would wave to people. But in reality, they're probably like, I don't think she realizes that she has on bright pink underwear underneath her tights. So tip to everybody, if you have on tights, always wear dark underwear.
It's probably when I do Ash from Evil Dead, because I'm married and he's just such a go-getter for the ladies. And sometimes I think I may do it a little too far, with the give me some sugar, baby, and they'll actually go to do it. And I'm like, whoa. And so I kind of have to break character, and it's embarrassing for me and her, but everybody normally gets a good laugh out of it too. So.
You know, funny fact about that, I've actually never seen a single, like, Ash vs. Evil Dead or not in the TV show movie. I really should get into that.
Oh, dude, man, it's so good. It's so good. I went even as far there for about 6 or 8 months. We even had the Delta 88, the big yellow boat car that he drives around, and we restored that and had it. So for the season, you know, the finale of Ash vs. Evil Dead, the show, we were actually driving it around, you know, around town and things, and we had it at Halloween, and it was a blast. We even had speakers in the bottom of it so that it would radiate like the Evil Dead noises from outside the vehicle. So it was so much fun.
Actually, with Widowmaker, her chest armor started to fall apart at last year's Conapalooza, and I had to get multiple people to help me and get me some glue, and I would say that was probably the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened.
I think I went to Dragon Con one year and had an entire thing like fall apart, like just walking to the floor. So yeah, I get that, and it's a mess.
No.
Thus why nowadays when I cosplay as like traditional characters like Ron Burgundy. What are some things that you haven't seen at a convention that you would love to see?
I guess it's not really cosplay. Well, it is cosplay related, but not about not about what people have on. But I'm from a small town in West Virginia, and I would like to see more diversity and more inclusivity in the cosplay community, because as of late, there have been a lot of issues with people who have been talking about Black cosplayers as to why, because we are brown, we can't and shouldn't cosplay certain characters. And that really rubs me the wrong way as somebody who is technically still considered plus size. I'm a size 14 and I'm Black. I'm very Black. And it's very frustrating to me to go to bigger conventions. And for example, it happened at Colossal Con a few weeks ago. I watched photographers skip over Black cosplayers who were wearing the same cosplay as somebody who isn't of color and doing haul shots and won't take their picture, and because they are brown. And it was very frustrating to watch people who put a lot of heart and love into cosplays who looked like me not getting any recognition. And it happens across the board, and it happens across so many platforms. And I've seen it a lot on Twitter. My friend Belle actually started the hashtag Black Cosplayer Here, because I guess for me, as somebody who is Black and who is of color, visibility, and people are right, we deserve to be recognized, or at least be visible. And I think having that sense of equality and that sense of awareness that just because we're brown doesn't mean that we are we are less than in the cosplay community. People of color make up a pretty large percentage of the cosplay community here in the United States, whether people know that or not. And being able to go to bigger conventions and see other people who look like me and other people who are shaped like me doing incredible cosplays, doing incredible builds, means a lot to me. And I wish that more people appreciated the fact that in a Caucasian-dominated hobby, that people of cosplay, that we're here. And we deserve to be seen and recognized just as much as somebody who is not of color. So what I celebrate and what really brings me joy is seeing cosplayers of color and large numbers of cosplayers of color cosplaying at conventions. I'm one of the few at my home convention. I've only seen 3 or 4 people of color at my home con, and I'm one of them. I feel very token. And it took me leaving my state and going to my first large convention 4 or 5 years ago. It was kind of a culture shock, because I walk in and I have my badge and I see Black people, and I see Asian cosplayers, and I see so many people of color, and I'm like, holy crap, there are people, I'm home. It was very, very refreshing to see people who looked like me doing what I was doing, because I felt very alone in my home community, being brown and being able to cosplay. So I think visibility for Black cosplayers and visibility for people of color who cosplay is what I want to see at larger conventions, and what I wish that I saw more of, if that makes sense. I know that was long-winded, but I do hope that makes sense.
gosh, I've been to so many cons. I mean, every convention brings their own kind of brand and things to the table. So you never know what you're going to get going from con to con. Some cons have a ton of vehicles. And so like with going to so many, I see a lot. One of the things that I can definitely say that I have never seen at a con, and this is just a personal thing for me, like you always have cartoon voice actors and things like that and video game actors. I've never seen anybody get Three Dog from the Fallout series, the radio announcer guy. And I think it'd be so cool to have him, you know, like Fallout-y set up, you know, because the new Fallout 76 game is coming out, and give him like a little radio booth playing the music, so you actually get Three Dog, you know, the radio guy from the game there. I think that would just be awesome.
I guess it would, anything would be cosplay wise. Have you ever played BioShock?
I have not actually, and my brother has, and he's getting me into it. But that's one of those things that I've been shelved on doing.
There's well, do you know what a Big Daddy looks like?
Yes, I know what Big Daddy looks like.
Yeah, I would love to see someone pull off a Big Daddy cosplay, and I just want to see that in person. I feel like that would be really cool.
The one year I went to Dragon Con, I saw one there. I had a friend that actually did a Big Daddy and a little sister, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's intense.
I'm jealous right now.
And finally, what are you looking forward to at Conapalooza this year?
I'm excited to meet new people. I call myself I'm an extroverted extrovert. So I'm high energy. I love to make new friends. I love meeting new people. I've been to Tennessee once, and so I'm really excited to visit this beautiful mountain town and be able to meet all of these new people. I love doing panels. I love to talk to people. So I'm excited to meet everyone, and I encourage everybody to just come to my booth, come talk to me, come say hi. If you're having a terrible day, you know, come give me a hug. I love hugs. You know, I'm not one of these cosplayers that's like, I'm going to just stand behind my booth all day and you have to take a picture from in front of my booth. Like, I come out, I talk to you, I will hug you. Just come say hi. I love to be able to talk and be able to meet new people. And I'm very approachable. I've had some people tell me that I seem very intimidating, which I am not at all. And I'm very, very excited to be at Conapalooza and excited for the opportunity and the invitation and to be able to meet the amazing con goers that make this con amazing.
Seeing everybody's cosplays, man. I still, there's always a couple people every convention I go to, every time at Conapalooza, that there are a couple people that just blow me away with the amount of detail that they put in their costumes and the time and love that they show for that character. That's my favorite part, and I look forward to it every single year, is seeing everybody else's costumes.
Really the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is just seeing all the people and seeing my friends and everybody just having a good time is what I'm looking forward to.
Thank you all so much for tuning in, and be sure to look forward to more episodes of Coffee with Conapalooza. For now, have a cup of Joe on us.